Yes or yes? How long can you spasm out skeletal muscle? Month, week, year? Well, what we know is after 3 years, the body starts to lay down extra bone because it's unstable. This person's had shoulder spasms for 12 to 15 years. And can it still be reversed at this stage? Yeah. Absolutely it can. Absolutely. This is the problem here. Now this is long-term problems with the spine. Now back surgery has an 85% failure rate. That means 85% of the time back surgery has got to be repeated within 5 years. We actually have a billing code. It's called failed back surgery syndrome. Can you imagine that? When I say it's the dark ages of medicine, you've got to have a sense of humor with that. Okay, and this is why. We're looking at about 6 back surgeries on this patient. Do you see any mechanical problem that will lead to the 7th surgery? Yeah. Yeah, it's not in alignment. They didn't fix it in the first place. In this here, I should show you the post x-ray where we actually corrected it. Okay, where now it's in alignment. This right here is a bone graft. Do you think that the mechanics are stored, or do you think her body's in constant spasm? Yeah. It's in constant spasm. So again, even though we get people smart enough in order to put mechanical stuff inside of a body, knock them out, bring them back to life, which is a technical marvel, we're still not looking at the big picture. Now these are epidurals. So if a muscle's been in spasm for a long time, you're starting to get nerve compression. Do you think injecting this twisted up mess of a spine with a nerve deadening agent, making that person feel temporarily good, did we do them any good long term? No. No, no, that's a ridiculous procedure. This person here, now looking at it, let's look at the postural muscles again. And we're going to talk a little bit about scoliosis correction. But in the old days, what they used to think of, and this is a scoliosis, they used to think that the muscles on the outside of the curve were weak. And then somebody came up, and so we're talking for 40 and 50 years, they would try and stimulate these, they try and work them, they put electrodes on them to help them, they try and strengthen the outside, and then somebody thought, let's check them. Oh, that's a good idea. So what they did is they put intramuscular EMG studies, which is electromyography. They actually stuck needles in the outside of these, and they found out, oh my gosh, they're firing off all the time. So finally, after doing this for about 40, 50 years, we found out that the muscles on the outside of the curve are firing off. They're increasing in tone. And you can do that with yourself. Because if you bend your body off to the side, these muscles on the outside of the curve are firing off to slow my descent. If not, I'd fall off to the side. Does that make sense? So now when we look at a patient laying down, the muscle here and the muscle here will be in a hypertonic state. It's going to be contracted. That's how we go in there and we find out where the curve is. Now this person here, do you think she's going to have nerve compression? Oh yeah. Yeah, do you think she was taking muscle relaxants? Oh yeah. Muscle relaxants, anti-inflammatory. She was actually diagnosed with an incurable disease. It's called fibromyalgia. Now I love this one because we don't know what causes it. We know there's no cure. Huh? Okay. Well, anyway, it took us a month to get her off of the drugs, and here she is 90 days later cured. Now, do you think she has no more spasms? Yeah, of course not. Because those muscles, the paravertebrals, are under proprioceptive control. Body's position in space means that it's not correct. This one is correct, so the muscles are in a relaxed state. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we find out why the muscle's in spasm, then we fix it. Now this person here, do you think that she's going to have spasm shoulders? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you think she's going to have decreased oxygen of the brain? Yeah. Okay, good. So we can give her a muscle relaxant and an antidepressant. No. No. How about we just fix this abnormal posture? Now, if you know that the head weighs between 12 to 16 pounds, okay? My head's probably 16, 17 pounds. If you were to take a 16 to 17 pound bowling ball and accelerate it to 50 miles an hour, okay, in about 100 feet, and that's a lot of force, right? Yeah. And then let's say we decelerate that 16 pound bowling ball from 50 miles an hour to 0 in about, say, 75 feet. So we have this, and let's do this about 5, 6 times. What's that going to do to the neck? Will that cause it to be thrown forward?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just described driving down Beach Boulevard. Okay, that's me going up to Sport Chalet. Okay, so what happens is this is a consequence of modern society. Everybody needs to get their neck checked today. Now, office. If you work in an office, you have no genetic defense against sitting. So how can we work in an office but still keep healthy? This is the method. Right here. This stupid, funky, ugly looking chair. What it does, it's an exercise ball. While you're sitting on there, remember, your body's position in space, proprioception, is always trying to maintain your balance. Since this is an unstable platform that she's sitting on, her muscles are always going to be firing off to try and correct it. So does that mean there's always going to be micro movements of her system to keep it healthy? Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a great idea. So does that mean the $400 or $500 ergonomic chair could be replaced by this $80 chair? Yeah. Yes, it can.
Where do you buy them?
Guion is like the cheapest place that we've found. I think it's 89 bucks. But if you have an office job, you have to get a chair that you're not comfortable in, that you're always moving. You can't be relaxed in that state. You have to get up moving every hour. And this is scientific. They did a study at Harvard Medical School. They found out that if patients or students at their school took a 10 or 5-minute break every 50 minutes, every 50 minutes, their retention went up and their productivity went up. So even though it really feels like you're getting into it, you're really getting a lot of work done, if you take a 5-minute break every 50 minutes, every 50 minutes, you get more done. And you've got to drink water and you've got to stretch. And on the back of this sheet, you're going to see appropriate stretches. Now here, again, if we look at the body as smart, is this person with an abnormal curve in the neck going to have increased tone of the muscles? Yes or yes? Yeah, and since this is where 93 to 97% of all headaches come from, she did have headaches. So by correcting the curve, correcting the forward head carriage, we're going to get rid of those headaches. Does that make more sense than to try and find a muscle spasm? She can go to a massage therapist all day long. How many times have you been to a massage therapist and you said, gosh, doc, I felt worse afterwards? I'll bet you did. You probably have forward head carriage. Massage is fantastic for moving lymph. Fantastic for getting the job done. Holy moly, look at that. I know, that scared me.
What did you say the manufacturer of that chair was?
Guion is the best place. For the ball chair, Guion. It's on the internet. It's the cheapest place I could find it. This right now, I know this is scary, and I'm sorry to leave it up there, but what's happening to your heart rate? What's happening to your blood cholesterol levels and blood sugar? And if your head's forward, guess what happens? Heart rate has to go up, cholesterol levels have to go up. So does that mean this person in this position here actually has the sympathetics firing on? So she actually has lowered blood supply to her gut. She actually has a weakened immune system, all from that head being forward. Wow. Gosh, that makes so much sense. This is what normal is. Now C3, C4, C5 keeps you alive. We told you this a long time ago, okay, when we're talking about the breathing system. What that means is, you see, when you're remembering all the bones, the muscles, the physiology, the origin, the insertion, what all the nervous system does, either you're really smart, okay, like some of the people I studied with, or you're like me, where you got to learn mnemonics. Okay, C3, C4, C5 keeps you alive. That means the nerve to the diaphragm comes out of the middle of the neck area. So if that middle of the neck is clear, you can breathe. If it's not clear, you can't expand your lungs. Now here's a guy who's got great muscle tone. Yeah, pour him in a glass, he's done. No. You got to know, in order to relax a muscle, should you massage it or should you not? Okay, that's huge. If you have forward head carriage, you should not get your shoulders massaged. Let's look at a couple of cases. Now here, if you massage the shoulders on any one of these patients, you're going to actually make them worse. Now here's a patient who should get massage. But what we're going to do is, remember, if you have a scoliosis, the muscles on the outside of the curve are firing off. So that means